What is the TVA in Loki? Based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe series Loki, the Time Variance Authority, TVA, is a vast bureaucratic organization that exists outside of time and space. Its primary function is to monitor the flow of time and manage the multiverse to prevent existence from descending into chaos. The organization plays a central role in Loki, seasons 1 and 2, and subsequently appears in the film Deadpool and Wolverine, 2024. Origins and leadership. While the TVA propaganda initially claimed the organization was created by three godlike entities known as the Timekeepers, this was revealed to be a fabrication. The true founder was He Who Remains, a variant of Nathaniel Richards, Kang the Conqueror, from the 31st century. The Multiversal War. Eons prior, variants of Nathaniel Richards discovered the multiverse and eventually went to war with one another to conquer different realities. To end the conflict, He Who Remains utilized a trans-temporal entity named Alioth to consume other timelines and isolate his own reality. The Sacred Timeline. He Who Remains organized this isolated reality into the Sacred Timeline. The TVA was established to ensure this timeline flowed according to his design, preventing the emergence of any branching realities that could lead to the rebirth of his rival variants and reignite the multiversal war. Purpose and functionality. The TVA operates as an infinite bureaucracy with a retro-futuristic aesthetic, seemingly stuck in a mid-20th century office style. The Sacred Timeline and Pruning. For most of its existence, the TVA's goal was to maintain the sacred timeline. When an individual deviated from their predetermined path, such as Loki escaping with the Tesseract in Avengers Endgame, they were labeled a variant. These deviations created Nexus Events, which, if left unchecked, would branch out into uncontrolled alternate timelines. To handle this, TVA agents, Minutemen, would deploy reset charges, devices that erase the branching timeline, pruning batons, weapons that transport matter, including people, to the void, a place at the end of time guarded by Alioth, effectively erasing them from existence. Staff and workforce. The TVA workforce consists of analysts, judges, and soldiers, hunters or Minutemen. While they were conditioned to believe they were created by the Timekeepers, it was revealed that all employees are actually variants plucked from various timelines, with their memories wiped to serve the organization. Key personnel include Mobius M. Mobius, a senior analyst who specializes in investigating dangerous variants, Hunter B-15, a high-ranking soldier who eventually turns against the original TVA dogma, Ouroboros, OB, the chief engineer responsible for writing the TVA handbook and maintaining its technology, Miss Minutes, an artificial intelligence in the form of a cartoon clock that aids in administration and propaganda, Ravana Renslayer, a judge who served as a commander and was unknowingly complicit in He Who Remains schemes. The temporal loom and evolution. In the second season of Loki, the TVA's infrastructure centers around the temporal loom, a massive machine that refines raw temporal energy into physical timelines. Following the death of He Who Remains, the loom became unstable due to the infinite expansion of branching timelines. This crisis forced a transformation of the TVA. Loki's sacrifice. To save the TVA and the multiverse from total destruction, Loki destroyed the loom. He physically gathered the dying branches of time, revitalized them with his magic, and took his place at the center of the multiverse, resembling Yggdrasil, the world tree, becoming a living stabilizer for all realities. New mission. Under new leadership and the influence of the reformed god of mischief, the TVA shifted its mandate. Instead of pruning innocent timelines to maintain order, the organization now protects the branching multiverse and focuses on hunting down dangerous variants of He Who Remains, Kang. By the time of Deadpool and Wolverine, the TVA continues to operate as a monitoring agency for the multiverse, though rogue elements, such as Mr. Paradox, occasionally attempt to conduct unauthorized operations. How does the TVA maintain the sacred timeline in Loki? Based on the events and lore established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe series Loki, the Time Variance Authority maintains the sacred timeline through a strict bureaucratic process involving surveillance, technology, and violent intervention. The sacred timeline is not a single universe, but a collection of realities woven together to follow a specific narrative script. This script was designed by He Who Remains to prevent the emergence of his alternate variants, Kangs, and a subsequent multiversal war. The TVA maintains this timeline through the following mechanisms. 1. Monitoring for Nexus Events. The TVA headquarters exists outside of time and space, allowing them to monitor the entire flow of the sacred timeline simultaneously. They use specialized equipment to detect Nexus Events, moments where an individual, a variant, deviates from their predetermined path. Example, Loki escaping with the Tesseract in Avengers Endgame was not part of the script, creating a Nexus event that branched away from the baseline reality. The red line. The TVA must act before a branch crosses the red line. Once a branch passes this threshold, it stabilizes into an alternate reality that the TVA can no longer easily reset, potentially leading to a multiversal war. 2. Deployment of Minutemen. Once a Nexus event is detected, the TVA deploys squads of armored field agents known as Minutemen to the specific point in time and space. Their objectives are twofold. 1. Apprehend the variant. The individual responsible for the deviation is arrested and taken to the TVA for trial and usually execution or pruning. 2. Pruning. Minutemen use pruning batons to prune variants. This process does not kill them instantly, but teleports them to the Void, a junkyard at the end of time guarded by Eliath, effectively erasing them from existence. 3. Resetting the timeline. After the variant is removed, the Minutemen deploy a device called a reset charge. Function: the reset charge disintegrates the affected area of the branching timeline, consuming the matter and energy of the deviation. Result: this process prunes the branch entirely, forcing the timeline to flow back into the singular path of the sacred timeline, effectively erasing the deviation as if it never happened. 4. The temporal loom. In Season 2, it is revealed that the physical infrastructure of the sacred timeline is maintained by the temporal loom, a massive machine that takes raw temporal energy and refines it into physical timelines. Failsafe. Under He Who Remains, the loom was designed to only accommodate the sacred timeline. If the number of branching timelines grew too large, overloading the loom, the machine was designed to trigger a failsafe that would delete all branching timelines, preserving only the sacred timeline. Evolution of the system. By the end of Loki Season 2, this maintenance system is fundamentally altered. Loki destroys the temporal loom to prevent it from deleting the branching timelines. He then physically gathers the dying branches of time, revitalizes them with his magic, and takes his place at the center of the multiverse, resembling Yggdrasil, the world tree, becoming a living stabilizer for all realities. In this new era, the TVA shifts its focus from maintaining a sacred timeline to monitoring the infinite branching realities for specific threats, namely variants of He Who Remains, Kang. By the time of Deadpool and Wolverine, the TVA continues to operate as a monitoring agency for the multiverse, though rogue elements, such as Mr. Paradox, occasionally attempt to conduct unauthorized operations.